For round 16, we're going to go back to the lavender yarn here, and I want to join in the first stitch in an increase. So I've got an increase right here. We'll go right into the first stitch, and that chain that we connect with will be our first single crochet in this set of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next up, the increase for the repeat. Then after this, we've got 5 more single crochet to get us to the front post stitches below. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You'll notice we're set to go ahead and grab this lavender front post from before. So we're going to do a treble crochet here if that's enough yarn for you. If it's pulling really tight, go ahead and yarn over 3 times instead of 2. That's going to connect that up here. Like I said, we're making a space between these 2 different colors of front post stitches. So we do 1, which means we skip 1 and then have 3 single crochet. And 3, and that ends our repeat right at the increase, which is where we start the next repeat. So I always like it when it works out well there. So here it is. You want to start in the first stitch of an increase, and we have 5 single crochet until we do the increase for this repeat. Then 5 more single crochet should take you right through and in both of these front post stitches from the last round, setting us up for the front post on the other side of it. So we have a front post treble. 2 yarn overs should be fine. If you need the 3rd one, do it. Skip 1 stitch, 3 single crochet, finish out the repeat. So 5 increase, 5 front post treble, skip 1, 3 to finish out the repeat. That's it, 8 times around, and then we're ready for round 17. Round 17, we're going back to the magenta yarn, which means we're going to connect up to these guys and cover the other side of this little space that we've been creating these past couple of rounds. So we want to start in the first stitch in an increase. Like I said, it's sort of our common beginning spot for these rounds, but not always. There are a few times it's something different. So we connect with a chain and we start with 4 single crochet. So that's the first, the join counts as the first one. 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to do a front post treble here to connect down to the magenta one below. So we're surrounding those green front post stitches or overlay stitches with the front posts on each side. 1 lavender, 1 magenta. There we go. So if we do the overlay stitch here, we skip the one back there, and 5 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets me to the increase. So now we have an increase. And after the increase, 5 more single crochet should get me to the end of the repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. My next stitch is the first stitch in the increase. So that means we finished the count okay. You can see here this is pulling a little bit too, so I will try doing it with a little bit less tension, a little looser, see if that works. If not, instead of a front post treble, I may up that to a front post double treble. You have to play with that every time you do them just to make sure that they come as even to the top as possible. So for the repeat here, we're going to start in the first stitch of an increase. We have 4 single crochet and then our front post. Front post treble should work. If not, go ahead and do the double treble. You want to skip 1 and then 5 single crochet, an increase, 5 single crochet. So 4 front post, 5 increase, 5. That's the way it works. 8 times around, and then I'll join you for the next one. All right, round 18 introduces another set or bunch of overlay stitches we're going to do, and we're going back to the pink yarn, which we actually haven't used in quite a while. So we're going to start as per usual in the first stitch in an increase. Oh, I have it right there. I'm looking for it and I'm actually holding it right there. So we want to start in the first stitch and have 3 single crochet total. So the join counts as 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do an overlay stitch, and we're actually going to come all the way back to here and join in one of these variegated front loops that's underneath the lavender front post. The idea is to sort of hide where we're connecting it so that it looks like it's just growing out from here. So we're going to need to do quite a few yarn overs. I find that 4 works pretty well for me. You may have to do 5 because we are traveling quite a lot of distance here. Yarning over 4 times I think is a triple treble or a treble treble. It starts to get really silly saying those things, so I'm going to yarn over 4 times, come back here, and like I said, I want to grab one of these variegated front posts that's hiding right under the lavender one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't really matter how many times you yarn over, you still do the stitch the same way. It's just longer and longer to do it. So if I do that, you notice this comes all the way over here and is still lining up fairly well with the other stitches. So I'm going to skip 1 and now do 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. So we sort of had 3 in, 3 out, and now an increase. Followed by 9 single crochet to get in place for the next repeat. Sorry, I've got the yarn caught up here. And I lost my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9. And we look, and my next stitch is into the increase, so we're all set here. So the idea is we want this front post stitch to be growing out of these guys here and just sort of coming over. So you're going to need to yarn over and do it loose enough to come all the way here so that this isn't pulling in and that the stitch down here we're going into isn't pulling out so far that it's sort of warping or twisting your work. So 4 yarn over has worked for me. If you need to do a 5th one, go for it. Just watch your tension, see how you do, and pick the one that's right for you. So for the count, we're going to join in the first stitch of an increase, which is covered up right now, but we do that. We have 3 single crochet, then your front post, skip 1, 3 single crochet and an increase. Now single crochet to finish it out. 9 will get you back to your next increase so that you're ready to start the next repeat. So there is round 18. We're starting these overlay stitches here that we'll continue to grow with for the next bit. That's it. For round 19, we're going to go back to the green yarn, and in this round we're going to do a front post treble 2 together around these guys to finish off this inside part here. So first we're going to find an increase, start in the first stitch in your increase. That join counts as our first single crochet, and we need 7 for this part. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you notice here we're into this inside part. This is our front post. We're going to do trebles, front post treble 2 together. So we're going to go around both of these and bring it up into 1 stitch. So yarn over twice, go around the first one. We're going to do the first 2 parts, stop, yarn over twice, grab this one, first 2 parts, stop, and now yarn over and draw a loop through everything on your hook. It's a little tight right there. Let me just pull those guys loose, and that's going to finish the inside part there. We grab 2 down here, but it's only 1 stitch at the top, which means we skip 1, and then after that we've got 3 single crochet. Next up, our increase. And then I've got 6 more to finish the repeat, so 6 single crochet. This is 5 and 6. And you look, the next stitch would go into the first one of the increase, which is where we started the repeat. So this is our repeat right here. First stitch in an increase, we're going to start with 7 single crochet. Then we have our front post treble 2 together. So we'll grab both of these up into 1 stitch, skip 1, 3 single crochet, and increase, 6 single crochet. That's it. The repeat. Go ahead and do it 8 times around, and I'll see you for round 20.